as more companies are enforcing return to office policies, some hybrid workers are embracing a workaround.
Yeah, it's called coffee badging. And according to a recent survey, more than half of employees admit to doing it. Local staffing expert Jason Wachtel from JW Michaels joins us now to explain. So first, Jason, I want you to talk about coffee badging. And we're not talking about people who are assigned by their boss to be a hybrid employee. These are people who are taking advantage and doing this not necessarily with permission. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, I don't think anybody's doing this with permission. You know, a lot of things happened that were positive through COVID. A lot of people were able to sort of move a little bit further out from the cities and really take advantage of maybe being in the office 1 or 2 days a week or just moving out, period. But now the demand of people coming back to the office, whether it's from 2 days to 3 days or 3 days to 4 days, people are feeling compelled to have to come to the office, and they're sort of just swiping their cards, doing the bare minimum that day, or just swiping their cards and leaving the office. So it's really having a negative effect on employees across the board.
So what's driving the trend? I mean, is it still COVID to blame?
No, I think that we all got used to working hybrid, and now companies are trying to make that push to make people in full-time or 4 days a week. But it's hard to go from the transition of you were in the office just a few days a week, you're working from home, you were told that's how it's going to be, and now people, their mindset is like, I don't want to be in the office 5 days a week. I have childcare issues, I moved further out, my commute's terrible. So it's sort of like you told me one thing and now you're going back on your word.
It is interesting, and I don't know if you've noticed that it seems different across the country. Like in some parts of the country, it seems more acceptable, you know, and different types of industries as well. I mean, so do you think that, I mean, are bosses buying it sort of as employees? They're not assigned a hybrid, but they decide to work half their day from home?
Well, what we're seeing at JB Michaels is bosses might not buy it, but at the end of the day is the employees are not happy and they're leaving. So it actually is a detriment to employers by having this happen, because you may mandate people coming in 4 or 5 days a week. And as you pointed out, there's different companies have very, very different policies. So if you require one thing and your employees are not happy, you can expect them to start looking for employment elsewhere, because other companies would love to grab great employees and still be flexible with their work environments.
Yeah. So are you saying that employees kind of have the upper hand here? I mean, what's going to be the future of these return to the office mandates?
Well, what we see at JB Michaels is whenever there's a disruption in the workforce, it's always better for the employee. So right now, if an employer is demanding it, there's plenty of employers that are going to say, listen, we could never hire somebody from that specific company. Maybe we couldn't pay as much. But now they're saying, well, we're going to offer you that hybrid schedule. Your company's making you come in 5 days a week. So they couldn't offer anything financially before, but now they're able to pick off talents that they couldn't do before, perhaps just financially. So it is an advantage to other employers if they are a little more flexible.
I mean, it's very interesting. It's also interesting for people, for younger workers who joined the workforce sort of during COVID, and to them that was the norm. And then now as they're applying for, you know, second and third jobs, they're like, oh, do I have to come in? And you know, the bosses are like, what do you mean? Do you have to come in? Of course you have to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a complete culture shock for the more junior employees who, as you pointed out, got hired during COVID, where expectation was you don't have to be in the office. I personally think, when we think at GW Michaels, it's good for the junior employee to sort of get into the office, learn through osmosis. But it is a challenge because junior employees are saying, I don't want a job that's fully in the office. And that's sort of the direction most companies are going when they hire junior folks.
Yeah, right.
So will this hybrid model be the permanent model moving forward, do you think?
Well, what we're seeing across the country is the hybrid model is still the model across for everybody. It's just a matter of if you're requiring people to be in 2 days a week, 3 days a week, or 4 days a week. The companies that are pushing for 5 days a week, I mean, you see all these big banks that are pushing for it, but if JP Morgan can't do it, I think most other companies are not going to be able to do it as well. So I think there is a push to get people in the office more. I don't think we're going to see mandates of 5 days a week. And if again does happen, you're going to see a lot of power to the employees, because they're going to have plenty of options of firms that are still going to offer this hybrid model, which we believe is here to stay.
I mean, it's interesting. There are definitely good things about it. I think, you know, traffic, it's helped with traffic. I mean, that old mentality of butts in the seats. If you can do your job from home, there are just some jobs that are difficult to do from home. So,
and then you don't have to call out for childcare issues too.
Yeah, that's right. I think, as you pointed out, the commute could be an hour and a half if you're driving outside from the suburbs into Houston.
Yep.
And it is a colossal waste of time. You've hired childcare. So I think, as you point out, if your company was able to function well during COVID, there's really no reason to make your employees come in 5 days a week if they prove to you that they're loyal, they did a great job, and your company thrived during those challenging times.
Exactly. You nailed it. If they prove to you that they're loyal and they can do it. All right, Jason Wachtel from JW Michaels, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.